Good morning. Thank you for watching this morning. We've been out of place for about a couple of weeks, but we're back again, and we'll get started on our sick list. We got Ronnie Robinson, Ashlyn Hare, Ryan Sanders, Pat Nichols, Doyle Duke, Bruce Lewis, Randy Burnett, Sandy Lewis, Lee Heath, Steve Milburn, Amber Passenger, Wanda Burks, Brandon Swartz, Crystal Chanel, Sharon Armstrong, Robert Pitts, Gary Blanton, Donnie Smith, Pam Brown, and Claude Cunningham. We need to send sympathy to the family of Stevie Nichols, Deborah Wakefield, Diana Tucker, Scott Parker, Joyce Rice, Jake Haley, Kyle Fultz, and Karen Ashford. So we got a big list there this morning. Please keep all these folks in your prayers. This morning we're going to be talking a little bit about walking in the light, and that kind of means that you'll be walking and doing things that are good, walking with God, and we'll get started here. Walking in the light means living transparently before God and others. It involves honesty and integrity, a life that is free from hidden sin and deception. That's Ephesians 5, 8, and 9. Spiritual clarity, the ability to see the truth and make godly decisions. That's Psalms 119, 105. You know, it's hard to make godly decisions if we don't know the Bible. Fellowship with God and others. True relationships thrive in the light. That's John 3, 20 and 21. If there is no light on our path, we will always stumble and grope. It's hard for us to get through life if we don't know, if we can't see where we're going, if we don't know if we're doing good. We've got to be in the light to know that we are walking in the right direction and doing the things we need to do. That's why to walk in the light, we must stay close to God through prayer, Bible study, and obedience to His commands. Walking by faith and walking in the light. Faith is the foundation of the Christian life. Hebrews 11:6 tells us, and without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to Him must believe that He exists and He rewards those who honestly seek Him. Walking by faith means trusting God, even when we cannot see the full picture. It requires believing in God's promises, even when circumstances seem uncertain. That's Romans 4:20 and 21. So we've got to know the Bible to be able to believe in God's promises. Obedience to His word, even when it goes against human logic. Genesis 12:1 through 4. We've got to obey Him. That's how we show that we love Him, that we obey His word. Surrendering control, trusting that God's plan is better than our own plan. That's in Proverbs 3, 5 and 6. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. I know I've said that recently. In all your ways, submit to Him, and His will make your paths straight. Lean not on your own understanding. Don't think that you know everything. I don't know if you've ever seen people that think that they know everything. A lot of times you'll find out that they don't, and they're on the wrong path. 2 Corinthians 5:7 reminds us, for we walk by faith and not by sight. Is sight important? Yes. But faith is only about sight, then it's no longer faith. This means that our confidence is in God's truth rather than our feelings or circumstances. Faith is active, requiring us to step out in obedience, just as Abraham did when God called him to leave his homeland without knowing where he was going. That's Hebrews 11:8. Overcoming fear and doubt. Many times fear and doubt try to hinder our walk with faith. Sometimes it seems that we come to the point where our heart is saying one thing and our mouth is saying something else. Fear can be crippling and doubt mind crushing. That's why faith must be the believer's reality. However, God repeatedly tells us not to fear. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. To walk by faith, we must choose to trust God daily. It is a choice that we make not necessarily because how we feel or is feeling, but because God says so, and we trust Him to keep His words. Walking in obedience. Faith and obedience go hand in hand. Jesus said in John 14, verse 15, "If you love me, keep my commandments." True love for God is demonstrated through His obedience to His word. Obedience is the key to fruitful Christian life. It leads to blessings and favor. Blessings are all who fear the Lord, who walk in obedience to Him. That's Psalm 128:1. Divine protection. The Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked leads to destruction. That's Psalm 1 verse 6. A stronger relationship with God. Jesus said, "Anyone who loves me will obey my teaching. My Father will love them and will come to them and make our home with them." That's John 14:23. Obedience is not always easy, but the more we obey, more it becomes easier to continue obeying. Also, with all certainty, God rewards those who walk in His ways. It might not be visible yet, but with time it will speak. Walking in the light and walking by faith are essential aspects of the Christian life. These are not separate paths or intertwined disciples, but intertwined disciples that help us grow closer to God and fulfill His purpose for our lives. As we walk in the light, we reflect Jesus' holiness and we trust in His plan. Conceived beyond a reasonable doubt that He is faithful and true. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. And that's John 8:12. So this is my little lesson here this morning about walking in the light. We have to be in the light, or otherwise we're going to be in darkness. You know, a lot of times I've heard the saying, you know, I was in the dark about that. That means you didn't know what was going on. So we got to be in the light, so we know God's word. We know how to obey Him. We know to do the things that He needs to do, that He wants us to do. And so we've got to walk in the light. Otherwise, we're just stumbling around in the dark and doing the evil things. So we got to be in the light. I hope this lesson has you got something out of this morning. Please remember our folks on the sick list and those that have lost loved ones. Also, please remember our servicemen and women, our first responders, and doctors and the nurses, and all the folks that keep us safe and healthy. Thank you for watching. God bless, and see you next time.